I just want to say, first of all, thank you all for joining us here today. And I have an important message for voters this morning. Saskatchewan, we're standing at a crossroads, just moments away, just days away from a moment that will define our beautiful province for the next 4 years and beyond. It will define our healthcare, our kids' classrooms, and our communities. As you head to the polls this week, ask yourselves, what kind of Saskatchewan do I want to wake up in on October the 29th? Do I want to wake up to 4 more years of the same? 4 more years of waiting and waiting for health care that you simply can't get. For 4 more years of rising costs without relief. 4 more years of our kids not getting the supports that they need in school. Or 4 more years of not feeling safe in your own home or your own community. 4 more years of a government that tells us everything is just fine, when you know very well it isn't. Saskatchewan, it's time for change. We can't afford to settle for last place. We can't afford to pretend like everything is okay. You deserve better, and we can do better. In every corner of this beautiful province, people are feeling hope for the first time in a very long time. Saskatchewan, it's time to harness that hope and turn it into reality. Because we know, in Saskatchewan, hope beats fear every time. Together we can fix healthcare. Together we can keep more money in your pocket. Together we can hire teachers and education workers and make sure that every child in this province gets that good start that we all want for our kids. No more overcrowded classrooms. No more kids sitting and waiting on floors in the hallway. Together, we can keep our communities safe. If we work together, Saskatchewan can lead again. Now, this election isn't just about choosing between 2 leaders and 2 parties. It's about choosing the kind of Saskatchewan you want to wake up in on October the 29th. So I say to Saskatchewan people, all those who are looking for change, go out and vote for it. Don't wait. Vote today. Get your friends, your family members, your co-workers, get them all to the polls to vote for change. It's time for change. And we are going to win this thing. All you need to do is get out and vote. Thank you very much.
The federal government is bypassing the provincial government and giving money directly to Regina and Saskatoon to deal with homelessness. Would an NDP provincial government strike a deal with the federal government?
Mm-hmm. You know, this is a question I was asked on the first day of my leadership. It's a question we're often asked, how we would deal with the federal government. And I've been very clear about that. There are times when we are going to disagree. It's important, regardless of who's in power in Ottawa, that we have leaders in this province willing to get to the table and not just fight on social media, but actually get a deal for Saskatchewan people. There are also instances like the Farmer Care program, like the Child Care program, $10 a day program, where Saskatchewan people stand to benefit. We want leaders. This is the kind of leadership I would provide if I were Premier of this province, where our leaders get to the table and get the best deal for Saskatchewan people. We know it's getting cold in Saskatchewan right now. We know that there are homeless encampments. Saw people sleeping rough on the street just when we were driving up here today. That we should be working with the federal government, working with municipalities to ensure that we are providing the best services for people in this province. I think that's what Saskatchewan people expect of their leaders.
What is the NDP response to Shercombe laying off 79 employees?
You know, Scott Moe likes to talk about a strong economy. His record is something very, very different. We have the 2nd worst full-time job creation record in the country. He's the only premier who has shrunk the economy of this province before, during, and after a pandemic. He is presiding over loss in 6 crucial sectors of our economy. This is another instance of Scott Moe focused on his own priorities instead of the priorities of Saskatchewan people. One of those is ensuring we've got good jobs in this province. This is a case where a contract was awarded to a California company instead of looking at those employers, those workers in this province that could do the job. Unfortunately, this means that 70 people are losing jobs at a time when we simply do not have enough good-paying jobs in this province. This is a result of Scott Moe's choices. Our plan, our Hire Saskatchewan plan, would place value on Saskatchewan people, on Saskatchewan workers. This is through public contracts, but the Premier likes to say one thing about his record. The reality is very different, and I would say to those who are receiving their layoff notices today, as I say to all people in this province, you deserve better than this. You deserve a government that's going to fight for you, that's going to fight for Saskatchewan jobs.
What do you think of the money spent on the Marshal Service, and what would you do with the Marshal Service?
Yeah. So the Marshal Service, we have doubled the national rate of violent crime in this province, double the rate of domestic violence in this province. Rising crime rates that people can plainly see in their own communities. 2 years ago, instead of working with municipalities, working with the RCMP, existing police forces, when we saw rising crime rates, Scott Moe chose to announce a Marshal Service that wouldn't see a single boot on the ground for 4 years. We've already spent $14 million and counting at a time when people can't wait, when people call 911. They need to be sure that we have the police officers available to respond to those calls. That's not happening right now. Our plan is to take that money, set aside for the Marshal Service, invest in 100 frontline workers today, and take half of that money and invest in the root causes of crime, because also we are never going to have enough police officers if we don't start to address the root causes of crime, something Scott Moe and the Sask Party have simply ignored and watched worsen in this province. We also would work with the RCMP to ensure that we had those 200 promised officers deployed in Saskatchewan right now. Scott Moe's record on crime is taking us to twice the national average when it comes to violent crime. Our plan would be to hit the ground running right away and invest in RCMP officers, invest in municipal police forces. This is something we've seen the RCMP speak out against. We've seen almost 100 municipalities in this province speak out against. When he was called on it, Scott Moe suggested the RCMP officers were just being greedy and wanted more union dues. We respect our frontline police officers. We want to work with them, and we want an effective strategy to reduce crime. This is what leaders should be focused on.
When Scott Moe was in Prince Albert yesterday, he frequently criticized the last NDP government for how they ran the province. He said that a lot of people remember what that was like. They go back. What is your response to those comments?
I would say this. People can see with their own eyes what's going on in this province right now. Scott Moe's record, taking us to last place on healthcare and education when it comes to violent crime, people losing their jobs. Scott Moe said at the start of this election he wanted to run on his record. We've only seen him run away from it, lie, point fingers, and fail to produce a plan to undo the damage that he's done. We've got a plan we're incredibly proud of. It's been built with Saskatchewan people to address the things that are most important to people in this province right now. A plan to hit the ground running. People are tired of division and fear and pointing fingers. They want leaders to actually step up to the plate and get something done. That's what this team is prepared to do. Saskatchewan deserves better than this. Better is on offer in this election. A plan is on offer in this election to address the things that Saskatchewan people care about.
While he was here, he was campaigning on behalf of his local MLAs and why he thinks they'll be doing a good job for Prince Albert. We've got two behind you here. Why do you think Nicole and Carolyn will do a good job for Prince Albert?
Probably a longer answer than we've got time for. These are two people who don't just show up at election time. You know, I've had the privilege of door knocking with both of them. They're known for caring about their community, for rolling up their sleeves and helping out their community. They're both very hard workers, people who are not afraid to speak out when they see something wrong. There's a lot wrong in this province right now. We need leaders with a backbone, like these two women beside me, who are prepared to not just, spread lies and pontificate, to actually be responsive to the people that they serve. They care about this community. They've shown it in their careers before they got into politics. They show it every day. They will be fantastic leaders, fantastic MLAs for Prince Albert, and they will not stop fighting for Prince Albert. I've served with Nicole before. She doesn't stop fighting for Prince Albert. This is the kind of leadership we need.
Insightrix had a poll that came out earlier this week that showed 50% of the province was looking towards voting NDP, quite a swing compared to 45% Saskatchewan, but the way the constituency still worked out, it looked like maybe a Sask Party victory. What are your thoughts on that?
I am incredibly excited by the response and the momentum that we have in this campaign right now. People in this province are looking for change. They're looking for change in Prince Albert. They're looking for change in Regina and Saskatoon. But the responses we are hearing outside of major centers of the cities is incredibly encouraging. People in this province, they're pretty practical. They expect their leaders to do work, not just stand at podiums and talk about 17 years ago. People can see with their own eyes what is going on in our province right now. Rural people in particular are being faced with inadequate health care, long drives, driving up to their local ER just to find a piece of paper, telling them to get back in the truck and drive down the highway. We've heard from people with heart attack symptoms who've had to do that. 21% of our nurses in rural Saskatchewan have left. Saskatchewan people are tired of a government, a leader who, frankly, has spent a lot of the campaign lying, distracting from his own record, refusing to put forward a plan to actually address the issues that Saskatchewan people are facing. We're saying to all Saskatchewan people, no matter where you live, you don't have to settle for this. We want to be a government for all people in all corners of this province. We want to work together to tackle the hard things. That's how we've always done things in this province. People can vote for change.
And just to follow up on that too, it seems like both parties have had a heavy presence here in Prince Albert. It seems, I wanted your comments on that here, just because it seems like both parties are really campaigning here in Prince Albert for the ridings in this area.
Yeah, we certainly are. And not just at election time, I'll say. Just as these two leaders have been working for the people of Prince Albert, regardless, if their name was on a ballot yet or not. This is an important city in our province. This is a city that has incredible amount of potential. We just drove down the main street here. Our plan to fix up our main streets in cities like Prince Albert, to make sure we have more small businesses, thriving economy. People come to PA, they say, my goodness, what a sense of community. You're on the cusp of the northern forest, beautiful river. There is so much potential in this community. There's such a community spirit. People here are looking for leadership. They're looking for more than lies and distraction. They're looking for hope. They're looking for a government that's going to see the potential, the opportunity in this city, and work with those in this city, small businesses, work with those who provide services to make good on that opportunity, that potential that is sitting right here in Prince Albert. And we see that right across the province.
Any last questions?
Go ahead.
Just, what are you planning to do for the next few days leading up to the last day of the vote?
I'm going to be, I'm sure, in my truck for a lot of the next few days, getting that message out, that positive message to Saskatchewan people that your vote counts. We've heard from people that haven't believed that they've really had a choice in many areas of this province for many years. You have a choice. Your vote matters. We are winning this election right now. People don't have to settle for more of the same. People don't have to settle for lies and division. People can vote for that positive change, that positive plan, and for a government that plans to hit the ground running on day one, focused on delivering better for Saskatchewan people.
And my last question, at the start of the week here, the talk in the campaign was about bullet holes being shot in the constituency in Regina. Your message at the time was condemning the actions of anyone who might threaten violence during the campaign. It comes out yesterday now that the Regina police never told the South Party about bullet holes being shot in the wall of their constituency. I just wanted your reaction on that.
You know, go back to what I said earlier about Saskatchewan people being pretty practical. There might be divisions in this province, but we can agree on this. We expect our leaders to be truthful. Scott Moe can account for why he lied about that, not once but twice, misrepresented, or his facts don't match what the Regina Police Services said. But this is something we've heard Scott Moe do time and again in this election. Someone who said he wanted to run on his record. He can account for why he's chosen to spend his time pointing back 2 decades, lying, stoking fear and misinformation. This is a campaign that's focused on what Saskatchewan could look like when we wake up on October the 29th, if we had a government focused on actually fixing things, on tackling the admittedly very big issues that we have in front of us. The government with a plan to hit the ground running, to deliver relief on the cost of living, to work with our valuable healthcare workers to turn around what's going on in our healthcare system, to make sure our kids get what they need, to make sure we tackle crime and the root causes of crime, to actually bring down crime rates and make our communities safe again. Scott Moe can account for why he's made the choices that he has. I'm saying to the people of Saskatchewan, you deserve better than this. This election, you can vote for this. It's so important that people understand that their vote matters and just how much it matters, and that they get out there and vote.
Okay, thank you, Carla. Thank you, folks. That's a wrap.